Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got another new load that we've never tested on the channel before, and it's one that I haven't even seen until I just so happened to go to the store that day and take a stroll through the ammo aisle to see what was there, and these popped up. So I figured we had to try them out and see what they could actually do, although initially coming into it, I don't necessarily have the highest of hopes for them, being a true dedicated turkey shell, but you never really know. But as for the load we got today, I brought out some of these, the Norma Wing Strike turkey shells. They are a 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 1 1/8 ounce payload of lead 5s, moving about 1250 feet per second. And immediately, if you're familiar with turkey shells, you know that 1 1/8 ounce of 5s is not generally your normal turkey load. And this is a 25 round box, so I have a sneaky suspicion that these are probably just a general field load lead 5 more than an actual turkey dedicated shell, but I guess we'll see. But here's what one of those shells looks like. Your very standard stuff here. You can shake them and they do rattle, so there's not any kind of buffer material in here. And I don't know that these are plated. If they are, they're not copper plated. There's some sort of nickel plating or something like that. So once again, your very basic 2 3/4 inch number 5. I highly doubt these are going to be a true dedicated turkey shell performer, but we'll see what happens. But as for the setup we're going to run them through, I've seen a couple requests to bring this shotgun back out here recently, and it may not be the perfect combo if we're going turkey hunting with these shells, but we'll see what it does for us as a starting point anyway. That shotgun being my old Mossberg 500A. This one's got a 30-inch barrel on it with a fixed full choke that measures out at a 695 constriction. Definitely not what you typically think of when you think turkey shotgun setup, especially not today. I think this shotgun was from the mid-70s, but it's given us some surprisingly nice turkey patterns so far. With these shells, I don't know that it's the perfect combo to really get a good tight pattern from them, but some of you guys wanted to see this shotgun again, so I figured, hey, we'll start here and just see what it gives us, and we can move into turkey chokes with these from here. But as for today's test, everything is set up the same as usual. The turkey target's at 40 yards, and I've got the chronograph so we can get our velocity. So let's get you guys to view that target and see what the Norma Wing Strike number 5s can actually do for us through this old fixed full choke Mossberg, and if it's a turkey capable combination or if it just looks like your generic field load or not. So let's take our shot and see what we get. Alright, so that shell gave us 1346 through the chrono. The boss claim is only 1250, so we're almost 100 feet per second above that claim. And I could tell just by the way they sounded, they were moving pretty quick. We do have a 30-inch barrel, so a little more barrel length might have gained us a little more velocity. But for a lead 5, that's still getting up and moving on out pretty good. But how did they actually pattern down there at 40 through that fixed full choke barrel? Let's go check it out and see. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and yeah, that is not anything I would call super impressive for a turkey pattern, that's for sure. Now, right off the bat, do we have a dead turkey? Yes, we do. There's 2 through the brain and a couple more down the top of the spine, so yes, that turkey would have gone down for sure. But you can see there just isn't a lot of shot on that paper or on that bird's neck. Technically speaking, there's nowhere he can move to left and right and get away from you, but it's definitely not a super impressive or super hot turkey pattern type of core. I would say 40 yards is about the absolute maximum for these shells when it comes to turkey hunting. Backing up here and looking at the pattern as a whole, you only have 1 1/8 ounce payload of lead 5s, so you don't have a ton of pellets to work with. If these were your typical 1 3/4 or 1 7/8 ounce turkey load, you would have way more pellets on the paper, and you would probably fill in a good bit of that central middle core area. But this kind of confirms that I think these are probably more of a glorified field load than anything else. And when we take a look at the wad here in a minute, you're going to see the same story there. So like we just mentioned, a core, well, we really don't have one. It's just kind of a few sporadic little bits of shot on the paper. Good enough to take a turkey with it, especially if you kept your shots at 30 yards and in, you would be more than good enough. Around the edges, we do pick up a void right over here off the top right of the turkey target, but the rest of the pattern is pretty typical field load type of performance. Nothing super impressive. It's not overly condensed, but it's not necessarily blown all over the place either. That's probably about what I realistically expected from this shell in this combination. Now, as for the combination, obviously that shotgun, that Mossberg with a fixed full choke, is not the ideal turkey combination in the first place, but we have seen much better patterns for turkey purposes out of other field loads that we've tested through that same shotgun as well. So is there a chance that when we go to an actual more quote-unquote regular turkey combo with a good choke at 660, 665, something like that, could we tighten these down into a decent pattern? Yes, there is the potential for that, but I think we're still going to be limited by how the shell is loaded. At the end of the day, would that be good enough to take a turkey with it? Yes, it would do the job. Would I go out and seek these over something else? As of right now, through this particular setup, probably not, but this is the first time we've tried them, so we'll see what they give us through some other combos. Keep your shots inside of 40 and you're going to get the turkey with it, and that's probably about what I expected to see overall. And here's the wad out of that shell. You can immediately see that it's your very basic standard field or target style wad. You might have a little more cushion down here at the base than some others do, but it's not full length or anything. There's my thumb for comparison. No major damage or anything, nothing stuck down in there. So it looks very much like I would expect it to for going through a fixed full choke barrel, but these are not turkey wads. They really aren't designed to give you those super tight screaming cores and stuff like that. These are going to give you a pretty even, just general use field style performance, and that's what we saw here today. So I don't know how much we're going to be able to squeeze out of these shells that have these wads in them, but we'll see. Maybe running them through a tighter turkey choke might condense it down a little bit, but I don't think these are ever going to be a true nasty performing turkey shell, to be honest with you. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance right there? For a turkey pattern, it's not impressive. Would it get the job done? Yes, especially if you kept your shots at 30 yards and in, you would be perfectly fine. Those old fixed choke barrels were killing turkeys for the last 100 years or more now, so with a shell like this, you could absolutely do it if you wanted to or needed to. Is that the best, quote-unquote field-oriented shell that we've tested through that exact Mossberg? No. We've seen better patterns from the Winchester shells and stuff like that. So with these, at least we have a starting point to work off of now. Maybe running them through a tighter turkey choke, since they are a 1 1/8 ounce payload, might give us a little more breathing room. Maybe we can constrict them down a little bit and get a tighter pattern through a little more choke constriction than you might expect. It's a possibility, but I don't think these are ever going to be a true dedicated type of turkey shell. And generally speaking, anything that has that light of a payload and comes in a 25 round box like that, and I believe those shells were, I don't know, roughly $1 a shell, or right about that number, is probably not going to be as good as an actual dedicated turkey shell, even though that Wing Strike box says that it is a turkey shell. If you want to hunt with lead and you've got $25 to spend, I would just go get a Longbeard number 5 and you're going to be way better off than this, even if you have an old fixed choke setup. But leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these Norma Wing Strike shells? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is that a combo or a shell you would ever use to turkey hunt with? Or would you rather see it much more condensed down than that? And what other setups or choke combos do you want to see us try those shells through? I've got the 5s that we tested today, and I've got those shells in number 6s as well. So if there's another combo you want to see them tried in, then let me know all of that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All the information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.